One of the biggest races in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series is next on the schedule for the 2000 season. We head from one 1.5 mile racetrack to the next. We're here at the Lowe Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina. This is the World 600, one of the biggest races on the season. Every driver wants to win this 600-mile event. It is a marathon, not a sprint for sure. We'll see which one of these 42 drivers has it in them to go 600 miles all the way to the distance to win this one. We're nearing the midway point of the 2000 NASCAR Winston Cup Series season, and right now we have about 3 men under a blanket for the championship lead. Keegan Thompson, Trey Bartow, Chris Jericho are the 3 main contenders in it. Thompson with a really good day at Texas gains big time on Bartow, who was involved in a major accident in the 3 car. After getting up into the air on top of multiple cars, he finished beneath the top 35. He's now over 100 points behind Keegan Thompson, and Chris Jericho also within range of Trey Bartow as well. We'll see how it all plays out though here at the Lowe Motor Speedway for the World 600, the longest race on the season. It's going to be a fun one for sure here in Concord, North Carolina. The weather here not terrible for the fans looking for this night race around this 1.5 mile D-shaped oval. There should be quad-shaped oval. It is a cloudy night here in North Carolina. 68 degrees in temperature. Wind speed to the south at 3 miles an hour, and rain chances very minimal. Only a 10% chance of rain here tonight in North Carolina. Not too bad of chances to get this race going here at the Lowe Motor Speedway. Chris Jericho qualifies on pole once again in the 18, looking to gain on Thompson and Bartow. He's right behind Trey Bartow now after the 3's issues at Texas. But Jericho a good ways behind Keegan Thompson, who's had a really good season. 5 victories already this season. Looking for his 6th here tonight, but Jericho on pole. Bartow starts in 7th. Thompson will be starting in 12th. Not terrible, but he's on the outside lane. The inside lane definitely preferred on the initial start here at the Lowe Motor Speedway. We'll see how that plays out for Keegan Thompson, if he can find a way down in line, and if he can't, how far back will he fall in that 5 car. Also starting up inside the top 5, Brett Sierra, Justin Didell, 2 teammates from Hendrick Motorsports, and 2 Roush Racing teammates of Colin Teague and Sebastian Kukulon. The 2 drivers that are not coming back to Roush Racing at the end of the season are Teague and Kukulon. They've moved on to other race teams as Roush Racing let them go, but they're the high starting Roush cars here tonight in Charlotte, so we'll see who gets it done of those Roush cars, and will be one of them get to victory lane, or will be someone else. At the back of the field, 3 drivers failed post-qualifying inspection. Mathis Wells from 6th place on the starting grid, along with Mitchell Collins and Jay Brennan, who are both set to start outside the top 20. Unfortunate for Wells, the 2nd straight race he's failed post-qualifying inspection. However, last race at Texas, he found victory lane in the 20 over teammate Chris Jericho. Some track facts about this racetrack: absolutely located, the Lowe Motor Speedway located in Concord, North Carolina, 1.5 miles in length. The banking, just like we saw in Texas, 24 degrees, 5 degrees on the straightaways. So Texas and Charlotte, near carbon copies. Obviously, the Lowe Motor Speedway a lot older, built in 1960. We saw the Texas Motor Speedway very new. It was within its first 5 races here. First race at the Lowe Motor Speedway in 1981. So the asphalt's old, it's worn in. That's going to be a fun race for sure. The past 5 winners here at the Lowe Motor Speedway in the World 600. Trey Bartow, Jeff Bright, Trey Bartow, Kevin Bandon, and Nat Wagner. Can Trey Bartow go for his 3rd World 600 in the last 6 appearances in this 600-mile race? We're going to find out. In the field window, this is an interesting race. It's an 80-lap race. Obviously, it's the longest race of the season, 80 laps long, which means these drivers will have to make 2 pit stops at some point during this race. The fuel window anywhere from 28 to 32, 33 laps. Watch out for that fuel window during this race, because if you can only go 30 laps, you go 30, then you pit 60, then that's it. So they'll have to make 2 stops during the race. The question is, will we get some yellows to set up some different strategy in that regard? The chances are high. The Lowe Motor Speedway has been crazy in the past. This one's going to be no different for sure. With all that out of the way, it's time to get the command to fire these 42 cars up for racing in the World 600 at the Lowe Motor Speedway. Let's go down to trackside to get the command and fire the engines up.
Runners, start your engines!
There are the 42 cars fired up and rolling off here at the Lowe Motor Speedway to do action in the World 600. The man starting in third place, Justin Seidel, has still not scored a pole this season, has still not scored a win this season, but has been very consistent in that 24. He's gotten a 3-year extension with Hendrick Motorsports. Can he try and get his first victory in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series like we saw with Mathews Wells last week in the 20? Seidel starts in third, a good starting spot for the number 24 of Justin Seidel. We'll see what he can do with that starting spot in that 24 car. Go all the way back to 12th place, that's Keegan Thompson. 5 wins so far this season. Very close again at the Texas Motor Speedway. If he wants to get win number 6, he has to come from 12th position on the outside row. But obviously, 80 laps to get it done at the Lowe Motor Speedway. A lot of time for Keegan Thompson to get through in the 5 to try and get it done. To go all the way to the back for the second straight race, Mathews Wells. It's not 42nd this time, but it's 40th place. He won at Texas from 42nd. The next week, he's now 40th on the grid. Can he win from 40th to get back-to-back wins in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series? It'll be hard to do, but it is possible. He has 80 laps to get it done. Pace car to pit road. Chris Jericho, Brett Sierra are the front row for the World 600. 80 laps around the Lowe Motor Speedway down into the quad oval. Green flag in the air. We're underway in Concord, North Carolina. You already saw right there Jacob Boyd from 6th place on the outside, jumped down in line the 21. Now he's the inside lane to turns 3 and 4. The battle for a second behind the leader Jericho. Kukulon inside Seidel. They'll race side by side off turn 4 for a second. Sierra clears in line in 4th. Bardo gets underneath Boyd, and it's Chris Jericho leading the first lap of the World 600. Big for him. If Bardo and Thompson can't lead laps here tonight, that's 5 bonus points that those drivers won't be able to get. Kukulon to second by Seidel, Sierra to third by Seidel. Now Bardo looks for 4th on the 24. Remember, 2 wins in the last 5 in the World 600. He's well known inside the top 5. Stapleton started outside the top 10. Here comes the 97. Practiced very poorly. He was one of the bottom 5 in practice. But here's the 97 charging up inside the top 5 early on in the World 600, showing that he has the pace. Same with Lathan Strickland and the 88 of Jordan Stout. Sierra looked for a pass on the 17th Kukulon, but didn't have any run to make it work. Now he falls into the clutches of the 3 of Trey Bardo as they come off 2 and down the backstretch. Stout moving by Seidel and clears him. Now Zeidel's going to try and get in line in the 24 and will down in front of the 28 of Riley Sprute. Here comes the 31 of Conrad Evans, also looking to the bomb. There's the number 21 Jacob Boyd, got back down the inside after getting halted to the outside by the 3 of Trey Bardo. Battle for third. It's the 3 of Bardo, the 25 of Sierra. They go at it through 1 and 2. Bardo's the preferred lane off the corner, and he'll get that 3rd spot away from the 25. Stapleton moves to 4th, and Strickland for 5th. So right next, see how well that inside's working as Kukulon using the draft, closing in a little bit on that Pontiac from Joe Gibbs Racing, Chris Jericho. Stapleton under fire now for Strickland. The 33 gets to the inside. He'll grab 4th from Roush Racing's Nathan Stapleton. Seidel had a run onto Sierra, but lets his teammate back down in line. Now Stapleton might try and find a way down line, but Sierra's going to get to 5th. For the lead, here we go. First battle of the night. It's Kukulon trying to get by the pole sitter, the 18 of Chris Jericho. Down the back to turns 3 and 4. Kukulon's the lane through 3 and 4, and the 17 takes lead away. First lead change of the night, and it's Kukulon getting by the 18 of Jericho. So Sebastian Kukulon now leads the World 600. Trey Bardo, second in points, up to second. He comes in over 100 points back of Keegan Thompson and within about 30 of Chris Jericho, who's right behind him in points. So Bardo and Jericho battling for second in points right now, but they're also trying to run down the 5 of Thompson, who's still on the outside falling back. As Sierra moves to 3rd by the 18, Bardo has a shot for the lead in turns 3 and 4. He'll take it to the inside, and car number 3 flying to the inside of the 17th Kukulon, and they'll drag race off 4. Who leads lap number 6? I think Bardo by a nose got it in the 3 car, maybe by a few 1,000ths of a second. Bardo now leads in the 3. Kukulon now might fall back to 3rd as Sierra moves up to 2nd. Seidel up to 4th, Stout up to 5th. Jericho now back to 6th in the 18, trying to get in front of Bardo's teammate Evans, but the 31's other plans to the inside he goes, and now Jericho on the outside lane falling back like we saw Strickland and Stapleton. They got on the outside and fell back. Matthew Burnett, one of the poorer Roush cars of the weekend so far, but he's now moved up inside the top 10 right in front of his teammate Colin Teague. Just behind them we have the 21 of Jacob Boyd. Logan Williams and Nathan Baird running well. They're both inside the top 15 for single car organizations of Brett Bodine Racing and Joe Bessie Racing. Brett Sierra moves by Trey Bardo, and now Sierra leads the World 600. Zeidel wants to make it a Hendrick 1-2. Zeidel to second place. Here comes Jordan Stout to third in the 88, and back behind them, Evans shoved wide by the 18 of Jericho, who brings friends of Strickland and Stapleton to the inside with them. Racing off to turns 1 and 2 again. You can see this pack right behind Brett Sierra. A big battle for a second. Jordan Stout's going to take second away. Kukulon moves back up to third. Now Jericho wants fourth from the number 24, Zeidel. He'll move to the inside at the end of the back straight. Jericho moves around the number 24. Now has his hands full of Strickland, who gets a little tight down low and has to lift, and Stipton off the back of the 33. A little bit further back, Keegan Thompson starting to make his way back to the front in the 5 car. He got put in the outside early on. Now here he is carving way back through. Starts 12th in this race. Fell back a good ways, but now back up inside the top 15 to 14th. So Keegan Thompson doing a good job recovering in the 5 car. Bringing Luke Rainey with him. Luke Rainey announced that he's leaving Penske Racing at the end of the season, moving over to Robert Yates Racing to pilot the number 88 car. So Luke Rainey doing a good job from where he started outside the top 20, but trying to make the most of it. Speaking of Robert Yates Racing, Stout had a run onto Sierra, but Kukulon takes it to the inside. Stout has a nice run into turn 1, but not off turn 2. It's Kukulon getting the legs at the end of turn 2 and down the back straight. Kukulon moves to second. Now Jericho's going to dive low to partially block the 33, but also trying to get beneath the 88 of Stout. Battle for third is raging on it. Bardo on the outside faded back drastically, now back outside the top 10. See right there just how poor the outside lane is. Big battle for that third spot. Battle for the lead. Kukulon from Roush Racing trying to get by the number 25 of Sierra. Up the track for Brett, and there goes Sebastian Kukulon. He's by Brett Sierra, and he leads again in the World 600. Here comes Jericho. He'll get to second right there. Pole Sitter coming back in the 18. Speaking of Jericho's teammate Mathis Wells making decent progress through the field. Remember, he started back in the 40th position. Wells currently up into the top 25 to 24th in the 20 car. He's like ahead of drivers like Keyshawn Richardson, and the number 43, DeLello, even just got by right there. Eli Bright up to 22nd for Mathis Wells. So number 20 car making nice gains for the pack. You see the 3 wide back here, and a big mess. He's trying to get by Nathan Baird, and then Hagita would be the top 20. So Mathis Wells making good gains. He gets up just outside the top 20s right now in the top half of the field. Starting back in 40th. That is a good recovery for the number 20 Mathis Wells. His teammate Jericho runs well. Obviously started on pole, and Joe Gibbs Racing is now Jericho leads this race. Joe Gibbs Racing has had a really good stretch of the season. Well, Jericho will easily get by Kukulon through 1 and 2. He brings Kukulon's teammate Nathan Stapleton up to second place. Stapleton up inside the top 2 now and trying to get his first ever NASCAR Winston Cup Series win. As here comes Strickland to the inside for third. Zeidel and Sierra watch on. They might look 3 wide off the corner. They think better of it. Matthew Burnett trying to get by the 88 of Jordan Stout. Trey Bardo right there trying to get back up into the top 10 as he got by his teammate Conrad Evans and Colin Teague. Bardo up to 9th now, again the 3 car. Strickland moves around to third place. Zeidel to 4th. Kukulon almost contact for 5th. He and Brett Sierra got very close right there off turn number 2. Sierra moves by the 17. Well, Mathis Wells is still carving a path through the field, up to 19th for the 20 car. Obviously showing that he has pace in that Joe Gibbs Racing Pontiac. Jake Callaway definitely pleased probably with the start for both their cars. Right now, Wells has made his way from 40th up to 19th, and Chris Jericho so far held on to lead for a good bit of laps. Started on pole, led some early on, fell back, but now back in the lead and has a nice gap over the battle for third, which Zeidel will get third, Sierra will get 4th, and now the battle for 5th is Strickland and the 17. Speaking of moving through the field, didn't talk about Mitchell Collins, but he started back in the field back in 41st, but he's made better progress than Wells, up to 16th, just outside the top 15. Top 15 right from it's Riley Spurrington. So Mitchell Collins doing a really good job carving a path through the field in the 12 car. He and Wells both inside the top 20, and Wells right behind him, now looking for the 17th spot on Jack Haas. Right behind them, Hagita just moved inside the top 20 by the 55 of Roger Ray. So Sergio Hagita having a good race so far in the 77 for Jasper Motorsports. They've shown some really good pace as of late, and they're moving up the standings. So here are the different lanes, people running through 3 and 4 as the battle for the lead tightens up. Stapleton has a nice run onto Jericho, off to turns 1 and 2. Better exit of 4 for the 97, then the 18, and it showed all the way entering turn 1. Chris Jericho now has his hands full with Nathan Stapleton. Zeidel gonna poke to the inside of the 97 of Stapleton. That ruins the 97 shot for the lead. Zeidel wants second place, and he wants to have a shot for the lead. Zeidel is second. Stapleton now under fire from Brett Sierra. That's third. Keegan Thompson, for the first time tonight, is inside the top 10. Just moved to 10th. and now up to 9th. So Keegan, slowly but surely, making his way up there. Sierra to 2nd now by Zidell. Stapleton, into Zidell, contact for 3rd. They sort it out. Strickland looks low on both of them. They'll get in line by the 97 and push him clear of the 24, trying to get himself clear as well. So here comes Bardo back in the 3 car. Trey Bardo, World 600, loves this race. It's a long one. It's a driver's race. He's showing why. He's just hanging around, not pushing it early on, but just trying to be there for the end. As there's Keegan Thompson, still moving up, 9th place. Battle for 7th right in front of him. He might get by Burnett right here off turn 2. Now Wells up to 17th. Collins there in 16th. There you can see the 12. He just got by for 15th. There you can see Wells trying to lead up Keyshawn Richardson with them. Thompson up to 8th by Matthew Burnett. The front 2 points did not want to see the 5 get back in line and fly through the field so soon. Bardo and Jericho are loving being the only of the front 3 in the championship inside the top 10. Well, now Keegan Thompson joins that list in the 5 car. Battle for 3rds allowed the front 2 to get away by about 3/4 of a second. Jericho and Sierra, who started 1st and 2nd, they run 1st and 2nd right now at the Lowe's Motor Speedway, with Strickland and Bardo 3rd and 4th. How about for Andy Peter Racing, the run Lathan Strickland is having? He's been top 10 pretty much all race long. He's been top 5 for a bunch of it. Strickland loving it. He won obviously out in California for the 2nd race of the season. Hasn't had much success since then, since that win, but Strickland right now showing that he has the pace to compete up inside the top 3 right now, the 33. And he's right now just in front of Trey Bardo's won 2 of the last 5 World 600, so good company to be in for sure. There's Mitchell Collins still gaining. Right in the back now is Spurlitude for 14th. Conrad Evans just there, Luke Rainey as well, so Penske Racing, they did not have great practice pace. Luke Rainey did, Collins did not. In qualifying, they both qualified same row, 23rd and 24th. That was a disaster for Penske Racing. But here they are, both charging up. Collins absolutely, after failing inspection, Luke Rainey from his bad spot, they both charged up inside the top 15, and right now they have race cars that could compete for the top 10 and even the top 5, and if things go right, possibly the win is Sierra and Jericho still 1-2. They're trying to get away as Bardo moves to 3rd by Strickland, who moves in line in 4th, and now Jordan Stout up to 5th as he looks for 4th on Strickland off turn number 4, bringing Keegan Thompson into the fight for the top 5. But a big thing that hasn't been talked about as we're now nearing this point, pit stops are looming ahead for the 42 drivers on the racetrack. That means that the crews have to be attentive as we have a battle for the lead. Sierra looking on Jericho to turns 3 and 4. Jericho's going to slice the nose off on the 25 and keep his spot in the race lead, but watch for pit stops. The pit crew is going to be very important tonight. They have to make 2 trips on the pit road. They have to make 2 4-tire changes on pit road. They have to fill the car full of fuel. It's going to be a very stressful night for these pit crew members because, let's face it, 2 stops, you make 1 slight mistake, you could lose 5-6 spots with how close the pack is. The front 10 near 2 seconds within each other. In fact, the front 15, 16, they're all right there on top of each other. The front 15 within 3 seconds of each other. You see how the front 3 are coming together. It's Jericho, Sierra, and Bardo. 1, 2, 3. They pulled away from 4th on back. But Stout and Zidell trying to close in. Thompson had to fight with some drivers, and he's lost some ground. As we're about for the lead, Sierra gets by Jericho easily. Jericho's the lift, and here comes Bardo for that 2nd spot now. Bardo's going to have it right there. Great run down the back into turns 3 and 4. Jericho, though, is going to slice the nose off the 3 just like he did with Sierra, but this time he can't hold the bottom. But Bardo can't really hold the bottom either. It's going to be close off 4. I think Jericho's going to keep 2nd. So here we go, right there. We completed now 26 laps of this 80-lap race. We are now on the edge of the pit window being open. You can now come down and get the tires and fuel to make it to the end on just 1 more pit stop. Yeah, because if they pit now, they'll go 27. They'll have to pit 54, which will then take them to about lap 80, 81. So right now, this would be the time to pit and get into 3rds, but we'll see who is the first of the front runners to blink and hit pit road. Obviously, I don't think anyone's going to pit now. It'd be too risky, yellow coming out, something like that, but you have to expect if someone's further back of the pack, they might try and undercut. They might try a short pit because at this point, what do you have to lose? You need those spots. You need that track position. Make it a 6-7 car race at the front. Stapleton moving by. Lathan Strickland for 8th. But which of the front runners is going to be the first to pounce into pit road? As we're nearing now the pit window, this is going to be the time for when some people might make the move onto pit road. We're coming around to complete lap 28. So far, no one with the dare to get on pit road early. Yeah, but what you don't want to have happen is everyone coming in at once, and that's a long jam getting onto pit road. You really would like to pit either after everyone or right before everyone comes down. So we'll see right here who pits on lap number 29 as we're nearing the 30th lap of the World 600. No yellow flag so far. Very shocking stat right there as the leaders might be coming in this time. Sierra maybe, but looks like Jericho definitely. Sierra's going to stay under the lap, but Chris Jericho from second. First of the leaders to hit pit road. He slides in. He'll bring Strickland and Colin Teague with him. Jacob Boyd, Keyshawn Richardson, Hernandez, and Haas. So here we are. These are the drivers pitting sooner. We have pit stops underway at the start of lap 30. Jericho leads the first wave of drivers into pit road. Yeah, so it's Jericho, Strickland, Teague, Boyd, Richardson, Haas, Bright and Hernandez, Caden Lynn. You have Walker Davis, Mitch Corbett, and Jay Brando. Zero come in this time, but Keegan Thompson wants the 5 bonus points. This is where you get that strategy of maybe I want to lead lap for 5 bonus points. Keegan Thompson just did that. It might hurt him on the racetrack. It might help him because he didn't pit with a great group of cars. It might help him in the end, but it does get him 5 bonus points as well. Bardo's not gone that, or yeah, Bardo has gone that tonight. Jericho has as well. So both those drivers getting those bonus points for leading laps. Crucial for Thompson to also get that done. He thinks that maybe he wouldn't be able to get it done, you know, if he didn't do that. So Thompson stays out an extra lap. Now he'll come down pit road right there in the 5 car, and that will end the cycle of the first pit stop. Strickland with a good stop. Jericho with a bad stop. The 33 beats the 18 out for Chris Jericho. Came in the first of anyone. He'll leave back behind Strickland, maybe even some others, depending on where Sierra and the others leave. That was a poor stop for the number 18. You can't be having that. Sierra the first off of the second wave. Bardo second. Stout in third. Where are the 33 and the 18? Strickland and Jericho. There's Strickland up to speed. Jericho as well. Looks like Strickland's going to get by the 3 cars. Jericho might have a harder time of it in the 18. That bad stop for Joe Gibbs Racing. That pit crew going to cost him. Look at that. If he would have been in front of Strickland, he would have been long gone, but now he's stuck behind this side-by-side battle between Bardo and Sierra. That is not what Chris Jericho wanted to see at all. That is a costly pit stop mistake, but they do have another stop to fix that up. We'll see if they can try and get it done next stop. There's Thompson leaving. Obviously pitted later than anyone. The 5 car leaving. He'll come out about right where he came in, so not too bad for the 5 of Keegan Thompson. Obviously not pitting with a great group of guys. Definitely helped in the 5 camp. So that will cycle out the pit stops to where Lathan Strickland and Chris Jericho, the first 2 cars on the pit road, they now lead the World 600. Strickland beating Jericho off pit road. Bardo in third. He, Sierra, and Stout, along with Colin Teague, all pit around the same time. Keegan Thompson pitted a lap later than anyone. He was the last car into pit road of anyone on the racetrack. You have Mitchell Collins now up inside the top 10. Anthony Hernandez with his short pits moved up inside the top 10. Jacob Boyd's moving up nicely in the 21. Keyshawn Richardson just behind him. There's the 17 of Kukulon. The 24 Zidel's lost ground in this one. Same with the 97 of Stapleton. Mathis Wells has moved up nicely in the 20 as he's now up inside the top 15 just in front of the 2 of Luke Green. That's right now 15th and 16th. Behind them, Jay Brando did a short pit. He had to start the back start 42nd in this race. He's found teammate Jack Haas for 17th and 18th. Walker Davis inside the top 20 with Sergio Guita. Good runs for them. They're right in front of the 28 of Riley Spiritu. But a good run as well for the 94 Brandon Beals right now. Was fastest in practice, not that fast in qualifying. But here he is now up inside the top 25 and have a good day. That Billy Racing team has had some good runs as of late. Baby Rose is not running with the leaders. He's right now 2 laps down in the 9 cars, so obviously there were some issues on pit road that they had to resolve. A tough break for Baby Rose, not having a good run anyway at that moment, which has gotten worse as Collins looks to get by the 5 of Thompson. Maybe Thompson's tire still not up to temperature, and right now still on cold tires, might be lacking some grip. He got passed by the 1, now the 12, now the 99. So for Thompson, maybe that car a little bit better in the longer run, and he'll come in. Well, Sierra moved around to second. Now he's under fire from Trey Bardo. They're still trying to catch Lathan Strickland. Meanwhile, Chris Jericho is fade behind now Stout and Teague, 2 fast Fords that are gaining up to 4th and 5th. Meanwhile, 3 Chevrolets lead the race. It's Strickland leading Bardo and Sierra as the 33 looks to win this race. It'd be his 2nd Winston Cup Series win and his 2nd of the season. For Trey Bardo, he's won many of these things and knows how to get it done in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. And here he is looking low at Strickland into turn 1. Trey Bardo for the lead of this race. Strickland up the track, and the 3 is easily by. Trey Bardo now leads the World 600. Mitch Corbett already a lap down the 66. He was the slowest in qualifying. Obviously, he as well had issues on pit road on the pit stop. He's now on the verge of going 2 laps down. So Mitch Corbett was top 10 in the practice charts, but in qualifying in the race, he has not shown that same pace, much like what we saw of Brandon Beal in qualifying. Practiced at the top of the board, but qualified in 40th. Brett Sierra for the lead on Trey Bardo. and Sierra takes away. We have smoke on the backstretch. Can't tell who it was. It was Nathan Stapleton. Look how slow he gets hit by his teammate into the outside wall in the front stretch. That's going to cause the first yellow of the night. Evan Hunter, Zachary DeLello caught up. It looks like it was Stapleton who got hit on the backstretch, and now it's carnage on the front stretch for a few cars. Sierra back in front. Will they clear the accident scene? They'll have to shoot through the middle of it all. Nixie Burnett held the lane. Now he's going to go up high to let everyone by on the inside, but Jacob Boyd as well in the 21 involved, so Jacob Boyd involved. He and Stapleton running well, but now they're going to be out of this race. Unfortunate. So what do you do here? Come around to take 41 to go in the World 600. Fuel window is... Oh! Jericho got hit by Burnett under yellow! Oh, no. Look at the car. Lathan Strickland is involved. Oh, my word. One of the main three in the championship fight involved. Lathan Strickland had a really good run going involved. And now the strategy, I don't know if these guys, I don't know if Hernandez and Stout also involved in the crash or if they're coming down for other, strategy possibly. But for Chris Jericho, there was a lot of damage on the front of that Pontiac. Hernandez and Stout, I don't know if they're coming down with damage or if they're coming down maybe for a strategy called Nathan Baird as well, the 60 all torn up. So it looks like there was some massive stuff that was happening out here, and it looks like there's about 3-4 separate incidents that we're going to have to go back and look at because Stapleton and Boyd were involved in something, Nathan Baird involved in something. I mean, there was a lot of stuff happening there. Looks like for Hernandez, they're going to go now. Where's Jordan Stout? I mean, they might be repairing some damage with how long the right sides were up on both these guys. And there you see Chris Jericho, a good night gone bad. Same with Lathan Strickland. I don't know how bad the damage is on the 33, but for Strickland having such a good run, and I don't know how bad the damage is on that 33. Well, the race leader is Brett Sierra. Most of the front runners have elected to stay out on the racetrack. As let's go see what happened. Many different things happening here in the World 600. Just about the midpoint, and carnage ensues on the Lowe's Motor Speedway. There is a lot to digest on this one, so bear with me on this one. Stapleton up top, 3 wide off turn 2. Jacob Boyd starting to push up the racetrack, now trying to turn away from the 97. You can see right there, but gets into Stapleton, who gets down now into Luke Rainey. Trying to correct it off the 2, gets up into the outside concrete, back down in the 21 to Boyd, spinning them both around the backstretch. No yellow called because they get off the racing surface. They're not really disruptions to the race. I would have personally preferred they called a yellow right there because, in my opinion, it would have saved from some of the extracurricular activities that we had happen on the front stretch and then maybe even further around under the pace laps as it was Stapleton and Boyd spinning on the backstretch. Let's look at it again. Here you can see it. Stapleton up the track. Boyd trying to get to the middle and just runs out of room and runs out of handling it, looks like as well, but this is not the end of it for both these drivers. You can see Boyd, we saw him, he was smoking leaving the accident scene. Same with Stapleton. So Boyd drives away. Cars get around his outside. There's a group of 4 of them. He's going to come around. No yellow is out because, remember, the yellow only comes out because of what happens with Stapleton and also what probably happens with Boyd down in turn 1. Yellow's still not out. Boyd is not up to speed. He and Wilson collide. Looks like Boyd ran the 44 out of room. Now Boyd's in the outside concrete. He'll come back down into the racing groove and coming along Nathan Baird. Hard impact. DeLello's going to come by here and narrowly miss it. A lot happening on that one, but it still was not done, as we also had the incident with Nathan Stapleton, which collected a few more cars. So now here's Nathan Stapleton driving away from the accident scene in the 97 car. Once again, no yellow, and right here his teammate Burnett comes up on him. They kind of just run out of room. There's Baird. He's involved in that one as well. Evan Hunter gets involved. Zachary DeLello. So Nathan Baird involved in both of the accidents, which really could have been avoided if a yellow flag comes out. But right here, the leaders kind of fly through here. Everyone's giving room. See right there, they give a middle lane for everyone to fly through. Hunter and Burnett do. Burnett and Hunter are, I think, involved in what happens with the leaders up here. If I'm not mistaken, it is something to do with the 16 and the 36. Let's see. So they're obviously fading off, and they're thinking that they might still have to race back around to the yellow. I don't know what the issue is, if they have to do that, if they have to get their spot back or something. But right here... Oh, yeah, that's just... And Hunter ran right into Strickland. Stout spins around. That is just reckless out of both of those drivers. Burnett and Evan Hunter doing that under... I mean, really no need for that. You just have to keep it on the apron, get by there if you need to get by everyone. The apron is perfectly fine to do that. They both just came up and, I mean, two drivers having really good days. In fact, I mean, even Hernandez and Stout that were involved having good days. Jericho and Strickland leading laps in this race. That is unfortunate for both of them, what happened with Burnett and Hunter, and I'm sure the officials are going to have something to say about what happened with those two, because that was not good at all. So for Brett Sierra, he's leading the World 600 at the midpoint in this race. They'll have to pit once more, but for Sierra, he now has some competition out of the race like Strickland and Jericho, but he still has to deal with Bardo and some others right behind him on this restart. Pace car lights are out. We're going to go green the World 600 this time by. Some cars out and one more might join them. Lathan Strickland was involved in the incident under yellow. The 33 coasting in turn 4. Maybe a mechanical issue, electrical issue, but something on the 33 has gone amiss. He was set to restart around 4th place. The 33 not going to take part in this restart. You can see there's still a gap for him, but I don't think that gap's going to be filled. In fact, they have to get that 33 off the track, or else they want to add another lap of yellow. So, coming back green this time, the car's out. You have Evan Hunter, Nathan Baird, Nathan Stapleton, Jacob Boyd, and Matthew Burnett. B.B. Rose is 2 laps down. Mitch Corbett stayed only 1 lap down. There you can see Strickland. He's now back on the pit road. The gap can be filled, and it will by the 17th Kukulon, so Strickland, big issues there. Cars that came down pit road include Logan Williams, Chris Jericho, Ryan Wilson, Luca Iger, Jordan Stout, and Anthony Hernandez. They'll restart 29th on back to 34th. The top 28 stayed out. We'll see what strategy 29th on back can pull. If they can maybe take 2 tires at the end, no tires. And we'll see how bad the damage is on the 18 and some of the others that were involved in that yellow flag issue. So it's Sierra leading, Bardo in 2nd, Teague now in 3rd, Kukulon in 4th, Keegan Thompson is 5th, Keyshawn Richardson is right now in 6th, Zidell is 7th, Collins is 8th, Wells is 9th, and Luke Rainey up to 10th in the 2 cars. We come back around to take the green flag. The 25 of Brett Sierra the lead, but look at the launch for Trey Bardo in the 3. Gets right up to the back of the 25 of Sierra. We have Val for 3rd. Teammates Kukulon and Colin Tico after one another. And Wells and Collins, the 2 that started at the back of the field, Jay Rando, they battle. Wells now the highest of the drivers that failed post-qualifying inspection. A lot of good cars towards the back of the field. Could be big for some of the smaller teams, as here comes Trey Bardo. He wants the lead in the World 600. He'll take it away from Brett Sierra. Bardo now leads this race. 3 wide for 3rd. Thompson to the middle. It's a Roush sandwich. It's to his inside. Richard to his outside. Kukulon. And here comes Mathis Wells looking to get something for Joe Gibbs Racing tonight. There's still 3 through 1 and 2. They'll soar it back to 2 wide as Bardo clears Sierra. Now Sierra has his hands full with Keyshawn Richardson. Mathis Wells up the backstretch of the race. Wells might look for 3rd here on Richardson. It's going to be tight. Richardson keeps 3rd for now. Now Wells has a run. Baby Rose, remember, 2 laps down. Not racing on the lead lap in that Melling Racing 9. Wells to 3rd in the 20. And some names that we're not used to mentioning up at the front now coming alive. Jack Haas is one of them for Bill Davis Racing. Inside the top 10, looking for a top 5 now in the 93. How about just behind him? Riley Spurgeon has had a dismal season, but here he is running well inside the top 10. Just got by Richardson and Thompson both. Also Luke Rainey trying to make the most out of his last days at Penske Racing. Laura Chung in the 23, moving up behind the 24 Zidell. Eli Bright, Diego Yepes come forward. Hagita's inside the top 20. Just got by Mitchell Collins, who's fading on this restart. The Team Savco cars recovering after bad practices and qualifying, both up inside the top 20. Walker Davis is top 20. Here comes Brandon Beal looking for a top 20 as well. Jay Randall also started at the back of the field. He's making gains. Well, that 9, it's not terrible at the moment. He may have fresher tires, but he's driving by these guys that are on the lead lap, looking to get one of his 2 laps back to get back to 1 down in case maybe get yellow and some drivers fall lap down, stuff like that. Maybe he can try and do something with them. So right now, trying to get a lap back for Trey Bardos. Kukulon now looks for that 2nd place on the 25 of Sierra. 93 of Haas inside the top 5, going for 3rd. Keegan Thompson coming back in the 5. Eli Bright charging in the 8 car, moving up. Just got by Zidell in the 24, and Eli inside the top 12 now. Having a good run in that DEI number 8 Chevrolet. Luke Rain trying to get by Colin Tigas. Haas gets by Kukulon. That's for 2nd. Ruiz back to 1 lap down as he gets by the race leader, Trey Bardo. Strickland 4 laps down, still with some issues. There he is, finally leaving pit road on the 33, but damage is done now. 5 laps down. Also, Ryan Wilson's final lap down in the 44. We have 33 cars on the lead lap. Chris Jericho in the 18. The last of them. Obviously, the damage on the 18 so severe. See right there. how far off the pace he is. There's the Iger without a hood. Strickland just out there going to try and long some laps, possibly in the 33. Try and learn some stuff for the end of the season. Back up to the front for the lead. It's 3 cars. It's Hendrick Motorsports RCR and Jokic Racing. As Hendrick Motorsports' Brett Sierra leads again in the World 600. Mathis Wells, Jericho's teammate, looking for a good day for Jokic Racing, looking for a second straight win after failing inspection after qualifying. Wells to second, the highest he's been all night. Jack Haas to third by Trey Bardo. And Riley Spurgeon inside the top 5 in the 28. He's having a good run just like he did at Texas as the yellow is out again. A crash on the backstretch. Strickland in this one again. That is unfortunate for Lathan Strickland. It was a good day. That went bad. And it's gone worse in the 33. It looks like he's maybe the only one involved in this one. The yellow is out. They're going to take 30 to go this time by. Prime opportunity for everyone to come down and get the tires in field to make it to the end, assuming that everyone is getting the mileage of 30 laps. They'll come down at 30 to go. So this is the opportunity right here. Come down, make it to the end. The drivers that pit under that yellow, not what they wanted to see, like Jordan Stout and Hernandez. Stout's back up to 18th, but Hernandez back at 25th. They did not gain the spots that they had. But Mathis Wells, this could be bad for him. He has one of the first pit stalls. How slow is it going to be leaving pit road? I think that's a question, honestly, right? How can he get off pit road? Well, he's taking 4, so that's going to help with it, obviously. Right there, you can see he's going to have to wait just a little bit. He'll get out with Jericho. I'm sure Jericho might let him go right here, leaving pit road. Let's see who the first off is. See, remember, came with the lead. That 25 crew's done good and bad here this season. Sierra, easily. No contest off pit road. Bardo, second. Wells, third. Haas and Sproat took 4th and 5th. Actually, Jericho, the last car's in. Obviously with that damage. So Brett Sierra's crew holds serve on pit road. That should be their final step of the night. But let's go see what happened. Lathan Strickland down the backstretch, crashed. And a good night turned to bad, turned worse. Lathan Strickland, tons of damage in that 33. Kind of out there just trying to long some laps. Probably would fall another lap or 2 down before the end of the race. And right here, DeLello coming up behind him. I don't know if he just misjudged the closing rate or what, but gets into the back of Lathan Strickland. And right here, this is going to hurt for Lathan. Hard into the inside. Well, both those drivers even. Hard into the concrete on the inside. Driver's side first for Strickland. A spin up to the outside. Pulls the yellow flag out right there because he got back up onto the racing surface. I think if it were like the last crash and they kept it down the apron, maybe it would have stayed green. But for Strickland, spins back up onto the racetrack. Yellow number 2 comes out in the World 600. Just another look at this. DeLello racing Strickland. DeLello on the lead lap, Strickland a few laps down, and same result, both cars hard contact with the inside wall. It's unfortunate for Strickland, he drives away, but that might be the end of his race. For Brett Sierra, it now gives him the pit stop on pit road. Sierra's crew delivered. He leaves first in the 25. He leads back to the green flag once again, the World 600. Brett Sierra looking for his 3rd ever NASCAR Winston Cup Series win. Coming to green this time by 27 to go at the green flag. Brett Sierra still leads the World 600. He's definitely probably led the most laps so far here tonight. And he's had a fast car. Started second in this race. We knew it was going to be fast entering. The question is, did we think it could beat maybe Jericho or some of the others? With Jericho now with the damage and out of the running, Sierra might have it in hand. Strickland did not retire from that. The 33 still out there. I'd hate to be the leaders running up onto him because you'd have to think he's going to be pretty slow in that 33. 6 laps down currently for Lathan Strickland. Baby Ruiz right in front of the leaders is on the tail end of 2 laps down. Currently just 1 lap down. We have 33 cars on the lead lap. Brett Sierra leads in the 25. In second place, it's Trey Bardo. Mathis Wells from the back of the field again, up to 3rd. Jack Haas and Riley Spurgeon. Some good names to see up in 4th and 5th. Keyshawn Richardson in 6th. Keegan Thompson, the points leaders right now in 7th. Luke Rennie's 8th. Laura Chung in 9th. And Harrison Reed up to 10th in the 40. Collins 11th. Zidell 12th. Lynn 13th. Kukulon 14th. And Yepez up to 15th. Stout 16th. Watcher was fast in the first run, but some issues with some pit stops and pit strategy put him back. Green flag back in the air again in the World 600. A better start this time for Sierra as he stays with Bardo. And Bardo doesn't get the run on him like he did last time. The run comes from 4th place Jack Haas. Low on 3rd place Mathis Wells. As Rose is going to fall now 2 laps down behind the front 2 of Sierra and Bardo. Haas moves to 3rd by Mathis Wells as they all race up the backstretch again. Richardson pulling low on Riley Spurgeon inside the top 5, but here comes Luke bringing the 2. Moving low with Lord Chung. They're going to be close to 3 wide off corner exit. Wells keeps it clear of both the 99 and the 2. As Bardo moves around Brett Sierra, the 3 of Trey Bardo leads again in the World 600. Ruiz still fighting to get one of those 2 laps back, trying to move by Brett Sierra again. That might bring Jack Haas and Matheus Wells by the 25 car. Haas to the inside of Sierra. Wells goes high. Here comes Luke Rennie for Penske Racing to the bottom of the racetrack. He gets by the 20 of Wells. Now he's looking to get by Brett Sierra for 4th. Excuse me, for 3rd. 4th in line because BB Ruiz is a lap down in the 9. But Sierra, the drive, the Hendrick engine, pulls the 2 and clears for 3rd. Luke Rennie clears for 4th. Wells back to 5th. Spurgeon in 6th. Now Anderson Reed is 7th. 8th place for Keegan Thompson. Oh, around they go in the back. Jamie Stewart Jr. Anthony has another car into the inside wall, and on his side, it's the 26 of Nolan Lawrence. A terrible crash in the inside wall, and at the moment, we are staying green in the World 600. No yellow flag at the moment. We've stayed green. I don't agree with that at all. See all the smoke on the backstretch. I would have put the yellow out for that immediately if I see a car on its side, but no yellow. Cars drive around. All 3 are going to be done. Hernandez, Stanworth, and Nolan Lawrence. Tough break. 3 wide right here. Colin T, Keyshawn Richardson, and Anderson Reed. This is where 3 wide off turn 2. That's where most of the accidents have been happening. They're going to almost collide in turn 1. Anderson Reed backs out, gives the Roush boys some room, and they get around. Unfortunately for Mitch Corbett, he fell a lap down because he's flying in the 66. Currently off of the lead lap, but if he were on the lead lap, he'd be inside the top 20, going for a top 15, even top 10 at some point. That 66 looking pretty good. Keegan Thompson still on the outside, fading back as back up to the front we go. It's Bardo and Sierra. They've cleared the 9 of Ruiz. Wells and Luke Rennie looking to get by the 9 of Ruiz. Rennie is by to 3rd. Wells for 4th. Battle for 5th. Riley Spurley-Tube and Conrad Evans. Evans, the first we mentioned of him up at the front. He's not had a great race, but here he is, late in the going, inside the top 10, looking for a top 5. Very close racing there through the quad oval. Evans takes it to the bottom of the 28 and the 9, and with now 20 laps to go, Evans inside the top 5 for the first of the night. Very interested to see what the 3rd and 4th place drivers can do with the front 2. They've been good all night. Meanwhile, the 2 and the 20 have really only gotten here as of late. So at the moment, with those 3 cars out, we'll have 34 cars left running. Lathan Strickland and Chris Jericho have to be worries in the lap traffic department. As Kukulan had an issue. He's on the pit road on the 17. Strickland already about to be caught in that car, severely slow, off the pace. And XR ready. The leader's looking high to get around the 33 of Strickland. Oh, he chops up the last second. Bar's got to dive to the inside. Looking to work for Wells and Evans and Luke Rennie. They'll leave Sierra on the outside. Oh, man. Fish out of water for Brett Sierra right there, but here comes Wells. He wants to lead the 20. So close. And now Evans wants to make an RCR 1-2. You know, team owner Cam Rice will be loving that. He's saying, go, boys, go. JGR got 1-2 last race. Why can't we? Jack Haas, Lord Chung, and some of the others cleanly by the 33, but Strickland, I'm worried, would be causing an accident at some point with how slow he is. I don't think it would be necessarily by reckless driving. It might just be because he's slow. You know, the closing rate could be huge, and that's unfortunate for Yepes, who's running top 10 just a few laps ago. Now he's going to be outside the top 20 because he's stuck behind Lathan Strickland. Back up to the front. Now it's an RCR 1-2 with Evans trying to chase down Bardo. They're already going to catch Chris Jericho on the 18. He's going to halt the RCR, boys. Does that let his teammate Wells to the inside from 3rd. Bardo might dive low right there, but it's going to bring Wells to the inside of Evans. Bardo by the 18. The 20 by the 18. And you have to assume the 18 to 33, they'll be caught at least 1-2 more times before the end of this race. Evans and Luke Rennie held up on the outside, nowhere to go. Evans going to try and shoot to the middle of the 18. Jericho trying to stay high to give them room. And right there, Evans moves to the middle, but Luke Rennie does not take that chance. He might have to take the chance right now, though. His teammate gave him that chance to take because Riley Spurgeon got shoved up by Mitchell Collins. Now Spurgeon has to move low as quick as possible, trying to block off the 5 of Thompson, and does. Jericho doing a good job just holding the outside like Strickland. Both of them are doing a good job. They're just slow. You know, that's where the danger comes in. It's not because they're driving reckless. They're doing a good job holding the outside. It's just they're so slow. They shouldn't really be out there. For Jericho, you can maybe understand the situation going for points, going for the championship. He just got passed by Mitch Corbett for 29th. He's trying to hold on to 30th, but I don't think that's even going to happen as Sierra yellows out again. Oh, look at that. Oh, Jericho's involved. Roger Ray's involved. The 4 of Yepez. And it looks like it may have been Jericho maybe got clipped. Yellow is out. 15 to go at the line. 3rd accident of the World 600. Trey Bardo leads Sierra and Wells. This race has taken an ugly turn. I don't know how it started, what happened, but unfortunate. Oh, Yepez and Davis. Yepez having a really good run. Davis as well, both running well. Yepez running inside the top 10, top 15. Davis inside the top 20. Roger Ray and Chris Jericho, the other 2 involved, and a lot of them going to be done. I wouldn't assume the leaders will come down. They should be good to go on fuel and whatnot. Looks like they will stay out. So Trey Bardo leads this race. We have to look at 2 accidents, because remember, we had that 3-car accident on the backstretch, which didn't bring out the yellow. We'll go look at that first, and then we'll see what brought out this yellow. Here's the accident which had the no yellow call. Surprising when we saw it. Let's see why it was a no yellow call. Nolan Lawrence tight through the middle of the racetrack. Like we see most of the accidents off turn 2, that's how they happen. He gets in the Stanworth, they go down to the inside wall. He and Hernandez, oh my gosh. A hard hit for Lawrence. He was in the air when he got projected by Stanworth up off the ground. Lawrence then on his side, and I would honestly say that's yellow. Even though they didn't come back up onto the racing surface, you have to call yellow for that, and I don't know how it wasn't. Luckily for Lawrence, he never goes upside down, but all 3 of the cars out of the World 600. Another look. 3 wide, like we see most of the accidents here off turn 2. That's how they happen. 3 wide, cars get up near each other on corner exit. They get together, they cause this accident. Unfortunate for all 3 cars, they're done in the World 600. Now let's go see what happened for the yellow. Chris Jericho, a lap car, very slow. One of them involved, Roger Ray, Yepez, and Davis also collected. Chris Jericho, the lap car, doing his best to get out of the way at the narrow Charlotte racetrack, the Lowe's Motor Speedway, but Anderson gets up into him, just not enough room. Roger Ray into it. It's on from there. Ray and Jericho spin around. Interesting there, because Jericho and Ray have not had seen eye to eye a lot on accidents, and right here there's going to be some hard hits coming. Roger Ray, oh, Yepez right there. Jay Rando involved. Brandon Beal finds a way to just tap the 40 and gets away with it. Justin Zeidel, a really big name getting through. You can see a car, and there's the Yepez still spinning in the grass. Walker Davis is going to come in and hit someone here in the 10. Might be right there. He hits Jericho. Maybe his vision obscured because of the 33 right in front of him. Couldn't see where he was going and just couldn't see how low the 18 was. And there's the Yepez. He finally halts right there, and the 10 of Davis spins around, and luckily DeLello and Iger both miss Walker Davis. Right here, another look. Ray just going to force it to the inside. Reed, 3 wide off the corner, and Jericho just slow enough to where it caused this accident. You know, that's definitely not payback on Roger Ray from Chris Jericho. After, issues at Talladega, Jericho got halted by Roger Ray, and then obviously at Richmond, it was Ray who got into Sierra, which caused the accident, which took Jericho out, and really, ever since Richmond, that crash right there, it was really, he got put behind the 8 ball, and now here, it's going to be way behind the 8 ball. He could fall to the bottom half of the top 5 in points. Because his championship rival, Trey Bardo, one of the 2 championship rivals for Jericho, Trey Bardo leads the World 600 over Brett Sierra and Mathis Wells. Can Wells make it back-to-back? Can Sierra goes for his 3rd, or can Bardo go for his 2nd on the season? Green flag going to be with around 10 to go in the World 600 at Charlotte. 11 laps to go at the green flag, and the Lowe's Motor Speedway, known for being crazy in the past, crazy once again here tonight. A lot of cars out. Kukulon, his issue when he came down pit road, it was a header issue. It was mechanical. The 17's issue terminal, he's in the garage. He's done. So Kukulon out of the running of the World 600. Same with Jericho, Davis, Ray, and Yepez. Unfortunate there for those drivers collected in that crash. We only have 25 cars on the lead lap. Strickland, if he can just finish this race out, should get 29th place, being 7 laps down. Definitely not what he wanted, but might take it for sure. You can see some of the names that are up higher than maybe they want. I mean, Iger has no hood. He's up to 24th, and Nagita's top 20. Brandon Beal top 20. Jose Mills in the top 15. You have Eli Bright nearing the top 10. I mean, Jack Haas just outside the top 5. Caden Lin into the top 5, Lowe, Chung the top 5. But here we go. Bardo, Sierra, Wells, Chung, Lin the top 5. Haas with Evans, Rainey, Collins, and Sproul to bar the front 10. Sierra, a good restart from second on Bardo. It's going to look to the inside of turn 1. That 25 has been amazing tonight. He's amazing again when it counts the most on a restart. They're coming back to 10 to go at the line. Mathis Wells didn't lead until late at Texas. He hasn't led so far tonight, but this could be the lap he does it right here. He's pushing Sierra by the 3. Caden Lin looking to move up into the top 5 further as Wells wants the lead from the 25 of Sierra. Here comes Mathis Wells for 40th on the grid. He's beside Sierra and he leads with 11 to go. Now 10 laps to go at the Lowe Motor Speedway. Bardo dove into the gap between the 20 and the 42. He made it work on the inside. Bardo to second. Lin now for third on Sierra. Here comes Jack Haas as well. They all scatter. Now Bardo wants to lead on Wells down the backstretch off into turns 3 and 4. Trey Bardo now out in front through 3 and 4. The 3 leads this race. Wells back to second. Lin up to third. And here comes Ruiz. I mean, he's coming back through the pack again. Caden Lin for second for Team Sabco. It was a disaster of a qualifying session for the 42, but he's up to second in the race when it counts the most. And Jack Haas, one of the most impressive drivers of the season for Bill Davis Racing, a mid-pack team. He's raced that thing to top 10s and top 5s, almost a win at Las Vegas. Can tonight be the night? He's gonna get, oh, that lap car. Ruiz, why is he racing this late in the race? I don't agree with that. Wouldn't be racing if I'm Ruiz. 2 cars get away, 8 to go. And these drivers know that are racing at the front. A yellow within 5 to go would end the race. So you have to get up to the front as quick as possible. As Sierra looks to dispose of the lap car Ruiz and just get rid of that problem, but he doesn't have the run to do it. Ruiz going to stay clear of the 25. That puts Luke Rainey to the outside. Collins now inside the top 5, so both the Penske cars running well. Late in the race. Mitch Corbett also lap car racing here. Why are they racing? I wouldn't be doing that. They obviously want to battle each other for a position, but I don't agree with that. 7 laps to go at the Lowe Motor Speedway. Right now it's Bardo leading Lin, Sierra in third, Luke Rainey in fourth. They're all clear of the lap traffic. They have 2 lap cars. Back to 5th place, Mathis Wells. Then the battle for 6th is a cluster of cars. Evans and Richardson and Haas and Collins and Chung, Thompson, Mills and Stout. Colin Teague, Sprotum and Bright, Clifton and Hagita. It's a mess back behind the front 7 or so. Lin closing in on Bardo. 6 to go, 5 at the line. Can Team Sabco win the World 600? Or will one of the powerhouses of Richard Childress Racing or Hendrick Motorsports find victory lane again? Bardo has won many times in his Winston Cup Series career. Sierra looking for his 3rd. Caden Lin has never won. He's in between 2 drivers, which obviously Bardo already we know is success. Retiring at season's end. 1-2 championship, looking for his 3rd this season, 2nd in points. Sierra we know could be a future champion. He's won many times. Caden Lin, he hasn't really stiffed the front this season. Can tonight be the night? Coming back to 4 to go. We're at the point where yellow would end this race short. It's 3 cars for the lead and maybe even for the win because Luke Rainey not really gaining in the 2, maybe a slight bit, but he needs the front 3 of the battle to really gain more. And Wells desperately really wants that restart back in the 20. He and Evans are right now 5th and 6th. They're trying to get by lap traffic. Still 3 cars, Bardo, Lin, and Sierra. Can Caden Lin do it for Team Sabco? Can Trey Bardo hold him off for his 2nd of the season? Remember, his 1st came in another mile and a half in Las Vegas. And for Brett Sierra, he just wants to get back into that championship fight. Now just 3 laps to go. The gap back to Luke Rainey did not change that lap. It stayed at just 9/10 of a second. Bardo up the track as we catch now Lathan Strickland with 3 to go. He's going to play one final game in the outcome of this race. They'll go low by the 33. They easily, all 3 get by, but Caden has a better entry to turn 3 and 4. He looks low on Trey Bardo. I think he's there as well. Can Bardo get the run? 2 laps to go. It's oh so close for the 3 being clear. And he's not. Caden Lin to the inside. 3 Chevrolets go at it. Lin backs up the corner to get beneath Bardo. They're side by side off turn 2, and Team Sabco now leads the race. And these 3 battles, they hold up 5th on back. Luke Rainey's closing in. It could be 4 cars. Do the front 2 get side by side? Sierra now looks on Caden Lin. They're going to come around to the white flag this time behind the World 600. One of the biggest races of the season is going to come down to the last lap. Caden Lynn leads at the white flag. 1.5 miles to go, but Brett Seaver's getting by now the 42. Trey Barr's going to run off turn 2 as they got side by side. Bardo is a run in second. Lynn back to third between the 25 and the 3. Down the back to turns 3 and 4. Bardo's going to send it to the inside of the 25. Seaver tries to protect but can't. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. The World 680 laps down to this drag race to the start-finish line at the stripe. Too close to call. I think Brett Seaver in the 25. He does get it. Brett Seaver wins the World 600 at Charlotte. The Lowe's Motor Speedway, 80 laps, and it comes down to a fraction of a second. Brett Seaver wins the World 600 at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. What an ending. That's going to be a fan favorite for sure. Oh my gosh. Seaver wins. He's going to take a victory lap. Well deserved for Brett Seaver, the winner. Before we go check all the stuff with the finishing results, let's look at that replay of the finish in slow motion. The margin of victory of this NASCAR Winston Cup Series race, 3/1000ths of a second. Right here, Seaver on the outside just hangs enough of an advantage on Trey Bardo to beat him in a drag race to the start-finish line. 80 laps of racing, and it comes down to this right there. Amazing. Oh, so close for Bardo. 3/1000 short for Brett Seaver. It's a third win on the season, and momentum back for the 25 of Brett Seaver. What an ending to that one. If you look at the finishing results, Brett Seaver wins over Trey Bardo, 3/1000ths of a second, the official margin of victory. Caden Lynn, what a great run in third place for the driver of the 42. Fourth place to the 2 of Luke Rainey, and Keyshawn Richardson ends up in 5th. The 12 Mitchell Collins for Penske Racing, 6th place, both their cars inside the top 6 there. Laura Chung, a good day in 7th. Conrad Evans, 8th. Jack Haas, 9th. Riley Sprude in 10th. So Bill Davis Racing also had good days with Chung in 7th and Haas in 9th. Matheus Wells unfortunately falls back to 11th at the end. Colin Teagan, 12th. How about Sergio Guita, a 13th place for Jasper Motorsports. Jose Mills, 14th, and Keegan Thompson gets 15th. Trey Bardo going to be closer now to Keegan Thompson after losing a lot of ground at Texas. Bardo just gained a good chunk back right there. Jordan Stout, unfortunate with his pit strategy, whatever it was, damaged. 16th. Eli Bright in 17th. Justin Seidel, not the best in 19th. 18th. Brandon Beal, good result for Bill Elliott Racing in 19th. And Zachary DeLello had damage, was involved in crashes, had the whole left side pancaked in. 20th place right there. 21st for Iger, no hood on that 14. Logan Williams, 22nd. Jay Randall, 23rd. They were the only cars to finish on the lead lap. 1 lap down for Corbett, Wilson, and Clifton. Aronson Reed, 2 laps down along with Ruiz. Strickland was 8 laps down. Then the cars out. Obviously, Yepez and Ray, Davis and Jericho, Kukulon and Stanworth. They have Nolan Lawrence, Anthony Hernandez, Matthew Burnett, Jacob Boyd, Nathan Stapleton, and then Nathan Baird, and the 36 of Evan Hunter. That was the 42-car field, how they finished here in the World 600 at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. There you can see Brett Seaver, the winner of this one, and 2 long mile-and-a-half races, a 500-miler at the Texas Motor Speedway, a 600-miler at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Well, next race going to be just as unique as this one. We go racing in Long Pond, Pennsylvania at the Pocono Raceway. 3 corners, not 4, 2.5 miles in length. It's the Pocono 500. It's another long one there up in the Pocono Mountains. That's going to be a fun one for sure here on JRTV, the NASCAR Winston Cup Series, nearing the midpoint of the season. And oh my goodness, if it's anything like what we saw here in the World 600, the rest of the season going to be chaotic for sure. Congratulations once again to Hendrick Motorsports and Brett Seaver and the 25 team on winning the World 600 at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Tune in next week for Pocono and the Pocono 500.